I'm Lauren, and I will be showing you how to make vanilla cupcakes from scratch. For this, you'll need 1.5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 stick of softened butter, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1 cup of sugar, 3 large eggs, and 3/4 cups of milk. You will also need a cupcake pan, mixer, and paper liners for your cupcakes. Cupcake batter, you should preset your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and add your paper liners to your cupcake pan. Before I do that, I like to spray the pan with a little non-stick grease just to make sure it doesn't stick. And then you're going to add put all of your paper liners into your cupcake pan. It is time to mix all of your dry ingredients together. For this, you will need flour, salt, and baking powder. Measuring your flour is a little tricky because if you don't do it right, it will affect the way your cupcakes turn out. So for this, see how it's not level? I use a butter knife. I use not the sharp end, but the other end of the butter knife, and just level it off so it's level. After you've added your flour, add your salt. Okay, and then after the salt, you need to add your baking powder. You're going to do the same thing you did with the flour for the baking powder. Mine happens to have a little level thing for it, but if you don't, you can still use a knife. Then we need to sift it all together. I like to use a fork for this. It's just easier to me, so mix it together. For sifting your flour mixture, it is time to combine our butter and sugar. So make sure your butter is softened, otherwise it won't mix at all. It'll just make it harder on the mixer. So we'll add our cup of sugar and a stick of butter. Stir it at about a medium high temperature for about 2 minutes until it comes out light, like a light yellow color, and it's fluffy. Okay, now our mixture is looking pretty light and fluffy. So just clump it together in the bowl. And we need to add our eggs. So for this, you're going to want to add each egg in one at a time. Otherwise, if you put it in all at once, it'll just separate. So just slowly add in. And then mix that until it is mixed into the butter. Okay, and add our next egg. And mix it again. Okay. And probably gonna want to scrape down the bowl. Clump it together again. Okay, and then we're gonna add in the last egg. So now that you've combined your eggs with your butter mixture, just scrape the bowl again to make sure, because the mixer can't get every corner of it, so just make sure it's all mixed in. And then we need to add our dry ingredients and the milk. Okay. The same thing goes for the eggs goes with the flour and milk. You don't want to dump it in all at once. So for this, we're going to start with our flour and add a little bit in. And mix that in. Then add in a little bit of milk. And then add in some flour. And you're just going to repeat this until all your flour and milk is gone. Now we need to add in our vanilla. This is probably the most important part because it'll give you a vanilla cupcake because it's vanilla flavor. And just mix that in. Okay, now that you've added in your vanilla, gather your mixture in a clump again. And it's time to add it to our cupcake pan. For this, I like to use 2 spoons, or you can use an ice cream scoop, but I just prefer using 2 regular spoons. So, just scoop it up and fill it about 3/4 of the way up, and just do that until your cupcake mix, like it's all in the pan. Should be added into your cupcake pan now. I actually had to use another pan because I didn't have enough little pockets for it, but it's okay if you have leftovers. Now it's time to put it in the oven for 20 minutes. Don't forget to set your timer. And we have to wait now, so we'll wait for 20 minutes. Okay, so now my cupcakes are ready. But to make sure, I like to take a toothpick and just stick it in the middle. And if it comes out clean, then they're done. And wait for the pan to cool a little bit. And then we need to, once it's done cooling, take your cupcakes out and add them onto the cooling rack. So I let my cupcakes cool for about 20 minutes, and now it's time to decorate them. I have cream cheese frosting, but you can use any kind you like. I decided that I wanted to give my cupcakes some color, so I added 30 drops of purple food coloring in and just mixed it in. Now frost the cupcakes. So just take your icing with a butter knife and just smooth it on top. And then to top it off, I'll add some sprinkles. So that is how you make a vanilla cupcake from scratch.